This boy was raised by wild animals for the first 12 years of his life. This was one of psychology's most infamous studies, so keep watching if you want to learn more. This is the wild boy of Aveyron. Back in 1800 in France, a boy was spotted naked running around in the jungle in Aveyron, France. Eventually, 3 hunters caught sight of him and they caught him. They brought him back to the local village and he was looked after by a widow. But then he escaped again. This process kept going on for a long time. They find him, they catch him, bring him back, he escapes. Until one day at the age of 12, he came out of the forest by himself. At the time, nothing was known about psychology, so we were pretty confused. The boy couldn't speak, he seemed to be deaf because he didn't respond to really any noises, and he always walked on all fours. Once he came out of the forest at the age of 12, Jean-Marc Gaspard Itard heard of him, and he wanted to learn about him and do some studies on him. Anyway, the boy stayed with Jean-Marc for a little bit, and during this time, Jean-Marc tried to teach him how to speak, read, write, and just studied him as a whole. He eventually named him Victor. As Victor grew, after the past 5 years, Jean-Marc was actually able to teach him to speak and write. It was thought that Victor might be autistic, and this is why Jean-Marc might be the founder of special education and helping kids with disabilities, because he was one of the first ones to do it. Eventually, Victor did go on to live kind of a typical life. He still had mental problems and wasn't really able to get a real job, but he was able to live until the age of 40 when he passed away of pneumonia.